We moved on to and started refitting this catamaran almost 5 months ago, and if you told me then that it would take that long to get it into the water, I wouldn't have believed you. But we were naive, we jumped into it head first, and we found problems, and we've started to fix problems: the engine, the skegs, the rudders, and fuel tank, all that nasty stuff. The main things to do to get the boat in the water are, of course, the rudders and skegs. They need to be finished. We need to do some rigging, we need to do some final engine adjustments and some hydraulic adjustments. That's basically where we're at. In this week's episode, we finally get those injectors sorted, and we step one step closer to that goal of getting in the water this summer, which is definitely on the cards. Well, we hope you enjoy this week's video. So we're so close to getting everything under the waterline finished now. Got the shoe on that one's finished. Need to get that one sorted today. And then rudders are complete, ready for painting. And I need to do the keel and also the little fix as well. I need to figure out what to do with those little cracks. Nadiyana's gonna turn the wheel to see if the rudders are working. Good. No strange noises. Okay, stop. Turn it back. Any loud noises?
Loud noises.
Any loud noises? Is that as far as it will go?
I think so.
Okay. So it's very smooth. Oh, nice. Oh, or not. Oh, because it can't go that far. So the steering cables are in this locker. I need to anti-chafe everything, basically, because it's a little bit hectic. Observe the beauty of nature. This dragonfly thing clinging to our electricity cable. So I've made peanut butter again. I'm putting it on the screws when I screw them in. So I'm finding this epoxy is very slow setting. And ideally you don't want to move it too much because you can mess it up. This is just filling the gap in between the shoe and the skeg. But I'm not sure, is it possible to have a slow setting epoxy? Because that seems to be the case with this stuff. This is stuff from Germany, £20 per litre, I think. It was about €100 for the two, obviously. So after last week's video, we got quite a lot of comments about using thickened epoxy on the shoe of the skeg. Now my thinking of this is that epoxy is actually really good because it shocks off, so I could easily get those shoes off. Putting epoxy on the screws, however, is a bit of a problem. That is gonna make those screws incredibly difficult to come out. However, I'm sure after a few hours of getting them out, they would come out. So I'm not too worried about that. And another thing, the main thing, is that these skegs and rudders are now built to last for another 10, 15, 20 years. Somebody suggested using Sikaflex to fill the holes. Now if you use Sikaflex on that, after 5 years that sticker is going to be a little bit nasty. After 10 years it's going to be nasty, but hopefully with this they can last the lifetime of the boat, which is going to be more than 10 years. So it's a bugger to get those screws out, I'm sure, but we're happy that the installation is all secure and good. This little thing set nicely, very tough. So I'm going to sand that down, but then I'm going to use gel coat, liquid gel coat, which was given to us, and I've tested it first just to see, and it seems okay. It's set nicely.
It probably looks like I'm doing something not that important again. However, this time I'm actually doing something that's necessary before we set out on any passage. I'm putting on locks for the doors in the starboard hole, and all these lockers don't have the original handle, such as this. However, I'm changing it into an invisible one that locks inside, so we don't have any knee-hurting hazard during passage. Opla! Wow. Show us your new tools.
I already showed it.
It's really good.
It's good. So now I'm at the keel, which I'm just not going to mess around. I'm going to get it filled, and then I'm going to get it epoxy primed and then just paint it, because I think ideally this whole thing should be stripped, and then just like the skegs, it should have a whole bit of fibre going around it. However, it would take months and months to do that, and I think it's good for the next few years if we just keep on top of it. The wood's not rotten. It's just a little bit cracked, or it had cracked here, I think. Like I've said, I think there's been some sort of accident which started with a... Oh, I'm getting this everywhere. Started with a big smack here on the keel, and then it's gone through to the skeg and the rudder. As you can see, very professional job. Oh yeah. I'm killing time now until 9 PM today, because England will play in the final of the European Championships. So I'm super excited. So I'm cutting the bolts for the rudder post. That's 4 very accurately cut bolts. That's why I use the red tape to make it perfect. Any tips for cutting bolts to size? I always mess it up. So this one was just stuck in temporarily while I cut these bolts. Looks like our mate is having a nice day. He's been here for about 8 hours. Maybe he's staying around for the game tonight.
3 lines on the shirt.
3 lines on the shirt.
Football is coming home.
Come on, Italy! Come on, Italy!
No.
I don't know how we can have this little Italy guy.
Set up.
Yes. Right.
Yeah!
Yeah!
One piece.
Oh!
Loud.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah!
Yeah!
He's got it.
Come on, boy. No! Well, it was not to be for England. However, good news today, because we're going to go and get our injectors serviced. I bought new nozzles for them, and we're going to get them timed. We need to go to Arles, which is about half an hour away, to get them done. But basically I need to take off the injectors now. These are the nozzles. I bought them for about 130 euros, which is really a good price, because for a newer engine, newer injectors are about 200 each, or 150 each, so good stuff. Oh no. Through my fingernail. Sorry for the graphic footage, guys. I basically mashed my finger and it cut through the top of my nail. Wow, very painful. Alright, let's continue.
You sure you don't want me to do the spanner?
Yeah.
Well, just don't, let me know when you need a hand.
Okay. Thanks. I've had an absolute nightmare this little pin that goes on the injector has come off. And I don't know if that can be welded back on. It's for the return pipe for the diesel. Okay, we're all ready to go. I really hope we find a solution, a quick and easy solution for this little broken bit. So we took the nozzles and the injectors to the guy, although he was very, very reluctant to use the nozzles which I bought. I think he wanted to use, I think he doesn't like to fit third-party parts. So we've left them with him. Hopefully he'll come back with good news. I was a little bit annoyed that they would just put them in and pressure test them, but these guys are the experts. Hopefully he's not trying to make some extra euros, but we'll see. We've left it with him and he'll give us a call. It's blowing an absolute hoolie today. The Mistral is back. I think I might need to reinforce these biminis a little bit. I think the top one will be good for underway, but this back one here, that's gonna come off for actual sailing. But it's funny how much the boat shakes when the wind comes and the ropes rattle on the mast, and as you can see, the running rigging is still an absolute mess.
Mark has ordered the riggings about a month ago now, and we haven't received them. So today we made a phone call to Enquiry what's going on, and by using our broken French, we managed to learn that they are out of stock for one of the pieces. So they said next week it will arrive. And Mark said he doesn't want to take off this fitting. So my job would be prepare, sand off all the dirty stuff, old stuff, and we will epoxy the wood and paint it, and we will Sikaflex.
That little job is like a temporary thing. It's just to stop any leaks and to preserve the wood. Maybe over the winter we might look at changing all those fittings, the wooden fittings. I'm still really disappointed about those injectors yesterday, especially breaking off that little barb, but hopefully we can get some good news about them soon. But in the meantime, I'm gonna make sure everything is ready to be painted downstairs, so all under the waterline is finished. So this, which I filled in, is looking really good actually. This stuff is flipping rock hard. And I'll sand this down, then I'll get an epoxy barrier on it, and then it's ready for anti-fouling. I'll do that now. And then paint some gel coat on here, sand it down, and that'll be ready for painting. The rudders are in and all good. These are just mental notes for me really, just to cheer myself up from the reasonably slow process. Voila! Look at this piece of art. Just magnificent.
Did you like this piece? Do you know what it's called? I found this on a magazine which called Pianist.
Well, then it's really, really good news that this week's episode is sponsored by Readly, which is a digital magazine subscription service. It has over 5,000 magazines and newspapers, national and international titles. Obviously, we like to read our sailing magazines. However, it has everything from gardening, DIY, and fishing. They also have the back editions. We went back to January 2020 in Yachting Monthly to see our 3-page article, and we read it and we cringed just like the time we first read it in the magazine.
I thought you did a good job.
Oh, well,
For my English level, you've done a good job.
well, go and check it out. Let us know if you cringe too. But also, it's good because you can store magazines for offline use later on. Which
Especially good for my piano because when we're sailing, then it's not always we have internet. So it'd be good that I save it. And there is a bookmark service as well, so you can just use that so you remember which one you were doing. You can have 5 different devices logged into the same account. So basically, the whole household would be covered.
maybe the best thing is that it's completely free for 2 months. If you click the link down below, you can cancel anytime, so there's no obligations. So thanks again for Readly for sponsoring this video, and let us know, did you cringe at our article?
Or did you try out this piano piece?
Okay, on with the video.
Yeah, enjoy.
So I'm just mixing up some gel coat. It's a little bit lumpy. It's okay. I'm gonna paint it on with this. One of our most useful purchases. I think we got about 50 of these 1-inch brushes for about £10 from Alibaba Express or AliExpress. It's bad because we throw them away because they're not savable really using this stuff. You can wash them with acetone, but we find that they never come out the same, and they come out rough. It's shameful that they're disposable, but super duper useful. If I'm being completely honest, I'm kind of just making this up as I go along. Kind of using things that I've learned from the internet, watching channels like Sail Life and Boatworks with Andy. Common sense as well. I mean, usually what it goes fiberglass, gel coat, epoxy barrier, and then anti-fouling. So that's just what I'm doing. I've just painted it on. I'll sand it off later and hopefully it's good. So, good and bad news about the injectors. He's fixed them apparently, but he wants 150 euros. However, if he has fixed a little return pipe barb, then it's worth the money. So the guy actually, with the return line barb, he's just gonna weld it shut, and we use it on the end, which I never thought about. It's actually genius. But here we are. Oh, it's good. We have them buffed. Looking very nice. They say about having a really clean, super clean, dust-free area to work on injectors, but I think for these mechanical injectors, it's just they're very hardy. They don't need too much babying. The settings for the pressure, it's about 143 bar. I was considering buying this machine, but to get a good quality one is about 200 or 300. Although I think we're probably going to end up paying 150 for this little service, but I think it's probably worth it on the face of it for peace of mind. Very pitted. Voilà, merci.
I'm Benoit.
Hello, I'm Nadiyana.
Hi, I'm Nacha.
Sorry for stealing your guys' holidays.
Doesn't matter.
Oh no, it doesn't matter.
It was
Before
fun.
the camera, it does matter.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for Chris taking us to Arles to get the injector done. Thank you.
So nice. I'm enjoying stealing holidays.
Yeah, he's stealing our holidays. He is stealing our holidays. So here we are in Port Saint-Louis. It's fun. So we're going to play pétanque. Mark. Oh, Lily. Chris stands and he did the best. Chris won.
So pétanque, which is basically bowls in the UK, it's very common down in the south of France here. It's a nice little way to blow off some steam, and the kids can play it as well, so it's good. Now I don't feel too bad about stealing their holidays. So we paid 150 for that little injector service. If you think about it, you know, for that job, it's not such a bad price to have it done professionally. However, I know how quick that job can be, and if I had the machine I could have done it myself. However, I see that money, 150 euros, as like a peace of mind money, just to know that they've been done properly. But I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought it would be like 50 euros, you know, just to test them, but you know, he cleaned them up, he did a good job, so I think for the rest of the day I'm going to be trying to fit them, and hopefully we have an engine firing on 4 cylinders and peace of mind. Fingers crossed. So it's been about a month and a half since I did the valve clearances, and they're probably okay, but I'm going to do them again. Also, I'm going to double check and tension the head bolts. So a nice thing you can see on the valves, there's lots of oil there and it's not leaking down, which is good. Also means that the oil is being dispersed onto the valves. So good so far. Alright, let's hope for some good news. Nice! It's very reliable now.
Yeah, first time start.
We have the problem though now that this little leak-off pipe is now leaking, which never happened before.
Oh no.
So, I don't know what's going on. I need to check. So it's the return line bar. I don't know if you can see this move. My hand's shaking a little bit. So fuel is coming out here. What a pain, what a pain. But the good news is that the engine works really well, even with this major leak. Like, this thing is a beast. I'm gonna either learn how to weld or get someone else to do it and pay the price again. I'll ask the internet actually. I'm gonna do a community post on YouTube and see what people say. So from the community post which I put on, we've got lots of good advice. A lot of people saying that it would be good to braze it, but actually it would be difficult to clean properly. A lot of people suggesting JB Weld, which is something that I thought of, which I think I might give a try. And loads of people saying send them off to a specialist, which is basically what we've just done. However, I think what it is I've broken it while I've been taking the injectors off. So that was completely stupid by me, but we'll get it sorted. However, the engine, after putting the injectors on, started first time, and it was
Very
amazing.
reliable.
Very reliable. It idled at an even lower RPM. It didn't just cut out, it didn't fluctuate, it was perfect. So right now, apart from this little crack in the thing, it is perfect. Oh yeah, apart from the excessive fumes, which is also caused by this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So basically you can see more clearly, this is the part where it's leaking down here. This is loose and it's not threaded. From what I know, it's been machined and popped in. It's Bastille Day here in France, and no one's working on the boats, but we're not taking a day off because we just can't sit comfortably not doing anything. Anyway, still loads of little voids on skegs and rudders. It's just so difficult. I think I'm on like my 4th fairing. I've added different bits of epoxy and everything, and there's still little things that I keep missing, so I'm marking everything off, and then I'm going to fill it with epoxy and silica, and also use the same filling epoxy and silica with Nadiyana's standing rigging wooden blocks. We always use acetone before doing any painting or epoxying or polyestering. It cleans everything really nicely. However, we also have this little tiny vacuum cleaner, which is made by a company called Xiaomi, who makes some really good stuff. It's Chinese, but this is really good for sucking out the dust and the old fiberglass dust from the little holes and voids. Alright, I'm gonna film while Nadiyana does everything. Firstly, we need to clean the standing rigging things with acetone. Looks like a Colvick Watson, but I'm not sure. Now to mix the epoxy. She's very accurate. Watch this. Yeah, up to 2. The bottom 2.
Looks like just come out of the chicken nest.
So I've instructed her to put 20% more hardener in because this is so slow. We're going to use this West System 403 microfibers. It's very good stuff, I think. It fills, it soaks in to the wood as well. It's just really good. It's very fine. It's a very, very fine powder though, and in the wind it's pretty difficult to work with. So hold your stick horizontally. If it falls off, I would say that's good. There we go. Very neat and tidy. The epoxy's getting hot, so it's definitely setting. I'm just gonna lay it on thick because it can always be sanded flush. Giving myself a job to do in the future. Thanks again to Readly for sponsoring this video. Make sure you click the link so you can get your 2 months free, and also check out that terrible article, or like Nadiyana says, try your hand at some piano or guitar or saxophone or whatever it is you play, and let us know what you thought of tonight's video and some of our techniques and how we're doing it. I know we're a bit haphazard, a bit here and there, but we're finding that some jobs need a little stage of them doing, and then you need to wait for it to set or to get a new part and then do it again. You're back and forth and juggling tasks all at the same time. So let us know what you thought, give us some advice, and as usual, thank you so much to you guys who've been to our PayPal and coffee. Your names showing up now. You guys are super duper generous, and you're really helping to support the production of these videos and helping us in many ways. So thank you so much, and see you next Friday for the next installment. More progress.